Welcome to World CI NEMA Recap. Zeke Muller is a convict doing prison term for bank robbery. He joined an academic class in prison, where offenders get varying levels of instruction. After assessing Zeke's knowledge, the teacher finds him to be less intelligent than a middle schooler. She believes he should be isolated from society due to his little understanding. Despite her wishes, Zeke will be released that day. After leaving prison, he starts a new life with a filthy phone and a few pennies. He is unconcerned. He was found to have stolen €1,000,000 before going to prison. Zeynep, his friend, leads him to the location of the buried money and provides the coordinates. Zeke is surprised to find a school gymnasium built with his money. Despite his grief, he is determined to recover the funds. A thug forces Zeke's corpse onto a table, demanding a loan of €2,000 from before jail. Zeke provides a pledge to return the money within weeks and requests housing. The gangster lets him crash in a display room of his strip club. That night, Zeke decides to work as a school janitor. This allows him to reach the gym and create a tunnel to his money. On the next day, he meets Lizzie, a teacher, during an interview at the school. She has a bubbly demeanor that her students either love or dislike. Zeke visits the principal's office and observes a large crowd awaiting a job interview. Although they are overdressed for a janitor, Zeke seems unconcerned. To eliminate competition, he breaks the fire alarm, causing everyone to flee. The principal arrived and informed her that a kid had accidentally broken it. Zeke discovers the principal mistakes him for a substitute teaching applicant. Despite his attempts to explain, she refuses to listen. After learning that teachers receive a gym key and a salary of €2,000, Zeke cannot pass up the opportunity. Now, the only issue is submitting his academic qualifications the next day. Lizzie is attempting to deter a pupil from smoking outside of school. Zeke offers assistance and requests a favor. Despite claiming interest in sharing the material, he aims to take her academic accreditation for personal gain. Later that day, they meet at her place and have an unpleasant talk. While preoccupied, Zeke administers a tea medication that causes her to faint. With the chance, he searches the house for her academic certification and attempts to print it. However, the printer malfunctions when he is in a rush. Instead, Zeke transfers the file to a flash drive. Lizzie's friend Caro soon arrives home to find him in the act. Zeke deceives Lizzie by believing they are in bed together, and conceals his objective. Zeke doesn't accept what happened yesterday when they meet again at school the next morning. Lizzie feels they were too close to her. Zeke enters the teacher's room before a teacher leaps out the window. She took her own life due to the turmoil caused by her classmates. Luckily, she survives the fall and is transported to the hospital. However, Lizzie is now placed to Class 10B in her place. Students in the class are said to as devils in disguise. They play trivial pranks on instructors, making their lives miserable. Lizzie is not pleased with the assignment. In his first class, Zeke requires pupils to bring a VCD of their preferred movie daily for viewing in class. Choosing the finest movie leads to better grades. Zeke appears to enjoy teaching, while Lizzie does not. Her students giggle at her every phrase and do not cooperate. A sticky material attaches to her fingertips when she takes up chalk. When she attempts to wash it off, the faucet breaks. After realizing the students set up the prank, she uses a towel to dry off, only to discover a black substance smothering it. She attempts to leave, but the door handle has dog excrement on it, humiliating her. Her defeat by monsters prompts her to ask the principal for a portion of blame. However, the principal requests her departure if she cannot take the teaching strain. That night, Zeke searches the school gym for his money. Meanwhile, Lizzie's friend Caro fixes the printer that publishes her academic results at home. After researching the print, they discover it was created while Zeke was in the house and Lizzie was unconscious. Lizzie suspected him of utilizing her diploma for the job. She drives to the principal's office to check his files. After matching the results, she confirms her suspicions. Minutes later, she confronts Zeke for using her diploma. Lizzie refuses to accept payment and only wants to be released from her role as 10B's instructor. The next day, they request a switch in duties with the principal. Zeke enters the classroom and sees a male genitalia on the board. While retrieving something from the cupboard, he accidentally touches mouse traps. During his retreat, a sticky black substance falls on him, causing the students to giggle. He attempts to continue class but becomes stuck to the chair. Zeke appears the next day with a paintball gun. Unfortunately, some students are skipping lessons and not attending when requested. The gunman hits them and gathers them in class. He merely wants them to be quiet during his time, regardless of their study habits. When Lizzie requests chalk, she witnesses a student crying. Zeke requests the pupil to cry softly when she shares the information. Lizzie understands he is not teaching and gets paid for sitting silently. That night, Zeke gets expelled from the strip club due to accommodations issues. He ends up at Lizzie's home due to lack of options. Lizzie and Caro mistake him for an intruder and beat him before understanding his identity. He stays with Lizzie, Caro, and her younger sister Laura at the house overnight. Zeke asks Lizzie to let him remain at their residence for 2 weeks the next morning. Initially, she opposes having a fraud like him around, but then she has an idea. She allows him to stay if he teaches 10B and not simply hangs out. Zeke takes the offer, desperate for a home. To assist him in teaching, she provides reading material and the syllabus. Caro suggests he manage the class leaders, Daniel and Chantel. Others will automatically follow if leaders respect him. Zeke discovers the leaders are micro-criminals after reading their details. Later that day, Lizzie and Zeke dine at a strip club. Daniel of Class 10B is uninterested in learning since he plans to become a drug dealer in the future, according to Lizzie. Despite his lack of interest, Zeke may be able to assist the pupils with this information. One night, while digging through the gym, he unearths a time capsule from years before. He finds Lizzie's picture and note inside upon inspection. He laughs at her remark about hoping to lose weight. He sleeps at his desk. In the morning, students use his unconsciousness to give him a makeover. Lizzie assists him in the restroom due to his discomfort. Zeke has never experienced such exceptional attention from her. He slowly develops feelings for her. Zeke takes Class 10B on an informative tour of a dealer's house the next day. After witnessing the life of a criminal, Daniel chooses a new career route. Zeke suggests students enroll in Lizzie's theater class to avoid becoming like the dealer. They follow instructions and audition for a Romeo and Juliet play. Daniel excels in his Romeo audition. Zeke finds the drama dull. He and his pupils rewrite the play to make it more current and enjoyable. A few more weeks pass similarly. Zeke continues digging the gymnasium tunnel. He and Lizzie have a positive relationship, and students are now focusing on studying instead of causing trouble. One day, student ratings of the teacher are made public online. Lizzie is sad as she was not chosen for any category. While most teachers view it as a harmless pastime, Lizzie is deeply affected by her desire to be liked by her students. To cheer her up, Zeke and the students vandalize a train at a nearby stop. Students witness Lizzie's entertaining side for the first time and develop respect for her. Though they flee after nearly being captured by police, Lizzie enjoys the night. The next day, pupils gently agree to follow her instructions in the hallway. They then take a field trip to a farm for a project. As the kids play, they accidentally hit her with a sex hormone that causes a high. In the end, Zeke must transport her home and manage her hormones. Laura, her younger sister, is anxious since child services will arrive soon. If Lizzie is in such a state, they may rethink allowing Laura to live with her. After waking up, Lizzie witnesses Zeke and Laura conversing with a child services representative. Zeke acts as her concerned boyfriend, kissing her. After the official departs, Lizzie inquires about the exchange of favors. She is surprised when he says he did it for Laura. Zeke locates the money he was searching for that evening. He experiences a roller coaster of emotions and sheds tears of joy. He then pays off his obligations in the strip club. Zeke reveals he embraces his new life when asked about his future plans. On the day of the modern Romeo and Juliet play, everyone is anxious. In the end, the play is successful and placed second in the competition. The pupils are thrilled as this is their first successful group project. A gym class student accidentally reveals the tunnel under the gym during a high jump the following day. Lizzie hears Zeke on the other side of the phone chatting to someone when she went down to check. He discloses his genuine intentions for attending school. He makes Lizzie feel betrayed and used. She discovers his criminal record and threatens to contact the police if he does not leave his job and home immediately. Zeke accepts to go without convincing her otherwise. The upcoming test is the long-awaited one for students. They scrutinize various images before the event begins. When probed, they share Zeke's suggestion to bring a photo of their favorite thing to stay motivated. A pupil notifies Lizzie that Zeke's inspiration photo is in his drawer. Curious, she examines the time capsule and discovers a photo of herself. Suddenly, Zeynep appears with a letter Zeke left for Lizzie. The letter expresses regret for breaching her trust. Additionally, he chose to pursue a new career as a teacher despite receiving the funds. Zeynep reveals Zeke is preparing to rob a bank with a negative reputation. Without Lizzie's intervention, he may re-enter the criminal life. Lizzie attempts to call him, but the call goes to voicemail. She proposes using a science project to speak with him. The scheme succeeds with student assistance, but Zeke's criminal accomplice ruins it. Zeke decides to pursue teaching and abandons the idea. He gifts Lizzie and invites her to be his prom date. She opens the box and discovers a stunning garment. They kiss at the end of the stairs. The principal cries when reviewing 10B's test papers at school. Zeke deserves praise for their excellent success. She wants him to remain as a permanent teacher, but Zeke admits he is unqualified. The principal appears uncaring. She fakes a high school credential and lets him stay. In the end, the pair enjoys the prom like everyone else. Subscribe for more videos, enable notifications, and leave a like to support the channel. Thanks for watching.